All right, guys, we're going to get right into it, man. Mehdi Hassan, man, he just erupted, put Sarah Palin in her place. Guys, let's play this clip, man.
Energy production's higher today than under Trump.
You're
That makes me
obnoxious
obnoxious.
because I'm asking you why you would say that
I mean, I'm
Biden
obnoxious.
didn't thwart.
You're a
he
racist.
didn't
We want to play
thwart-
that game?
Oh.
You said Obama is not born in America. He's
I
not one of
did?
us.
I
He's
said that?
Yeah, you said Trump is doing a great job asking for his birth certificate.
I
You said
said
he's
that?
You said he's not one of us. You said he jives and schmucks. Should we go down the record? You're going to call me obnoxious? Why don't you talk about your racism?
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about your racism?
Why do you change the
You
subject
said
instead of
Black
just
Lives Matter
answering a
protesters are dogs.
question?
Should we go down? Should
I
we go down
said
the
they're
All right,
dogs.
all right,
You're
hang
a
on.
liar.
All right, let's-
Show me where I ever said that protesters
It's funny you didn't
are
deny the
dogs.
Obama. You say Obama's shocking judge.
You're a liar.
Mehdi, if you get the governor on your show, which is, I would say, unlikely as things stand, if you do, you can continue the prosecution. Let me just segue to this, though, because it's
I
interesting.
called people dogs who were protesting in
believe you
America.
I
You're a
believe you did.
liar.
Did you question Obama?
Yes, she
Oh
did.
my
She
goodness,
did.
you
Did you
are
say
a
he's
liar.
not one of us?
You know, based
Did you say he's
on
palling around
that-
with terrorists?
Based on that, we're talking about Bill Ayers at the time and how
So you stand by
Obama
that?
had kicked off.
You're standing by Obama's with terrorists?
Oh my goodness! I can't believe
Did
you
you
even
say he's
have
not
a
one of
show.
us?
If you,
Did you say Obama's not one of us?
I still want to know this proof that you have of me calling protesters in America dogs.
I believe you refer to Black Lives Matter protesters that
I
way. If I'm
believe
wrong,
you
I'll
are
happily
wrong.
withdraw
All
that
right,
comment.
we'll fact check after this. I want to ask you this, Mehdi, because you're being very vocal and taking on Sarah Palin.
I mean, I got called obnoxious for pointing out energy production levels.
I
so
don't
yes.
think you would win a court case about
Wow.
being
You're
obnoxious. But let's
because
move
you
on.
lied
Let's move on.
about Biden not thwarting our
I can also be
exploration and
obnoxious before you
development.
just play the what a battery. Let me just ask you this, though. Given that you believe Trump is, a racist who's holding neo-Nazi style rallies and so on, why is it that he's gaining significant ground with black and Latino voters? Why would they gravitate to a man
complete
who
bullshit.
is literally, in your eyes, the new version of a Nazi?
It's a good question. I think because minority communities are not monoliths. I'm having the same issues in my own Muslim community where a lot of Muslims, not a lot, but some Muslims are actually going to vote for Trump because they're upset about Gaza. They think he's the peace candidate. And I think people have different reasons. I think we can make generalizations about entire communities. I'm not going to make generalizations about
it is
black
incredible.
or
You have the
Latino
you have-
voters.
you have a-
Although I think it's slightly exaggerated. There's an ABC poll that came out
But
on
you
Sunday.
have a woman.
Yeah, there's
black-
an ABC poll that came out on Sunday that shows Harris is doing better with black and Latino men than Joe Biden did in
Yes,
2020.
but the significant thing, Dave, is that his Trump's own popularity with black and Latino voters is significantly increased.
What is that popularity?
Yeah.
What are the numbers that we're talking here? Are we going from like 11% to 17%?
I think
or
I
what is
read on about African Americans, it's something like from about 4 or 5% to nearly 20%. That's significant.
It depends on what polls you look at, and
Yeah.
again, like we'll figure out.
True, and then you have a lot of communities that come from a lot of those countries that don't even participate in the vote. They don't see it as a necessary thing, or choose not to participate. A huge majority of them. And the reality of it is most of the polls are coming out that him being a Republican, he's been doing better with the minority vote. Okay, because you got to remember, most minorities, almost 90% of them go Democrat for the most part, most previous elections. So him being a Republican, he's broke records with the minority vote. But overall, Kamala's going to sweep that. She's going to get the black vote, the Hispanic vote, and he's making it worse on himself because, he's bringing all these people up, making comments on his rallies. You saw what he said about Puerto Rico being a garbage can. And then you have Rudy Giuliani calling Palestinian kids, he said Palestinian kids are taught to kill Americans at 2 years old. So a lot of people are just looking at him sideways, and people who might have wanted to vote for him, I'm telling you guys for sure, they're opting out. They're like, you know what, I'm good. I thought maybe we can get some change with this guy, but he just made this comment. I'm sitting this one out. A lot of people have that mentality with Trump,
I guess
man.
it might take us a few weeks before we have this data, but we'll see what actually ends up happening on the election day. There is something very interesting about the fact that if you look at the aggregate of the polls, Trump's support amongst minorities seems to be going up. There is, at least on the surface, that seems kind of funny given how he's being covered in the corporate media. I really do think that a lot of the there's kind of like the progressive cultural worldview is often very disconnected from what people in these communities actually care about. I think the fact that, like, I think personally there's actually a lot of things that appeal to certain people in these communities that Donald Trump, just in his personality. But I really do think that if you ask them, it all is coming down to the same two things that it's coming down to for most voters, which is immigration and the economy.
Yeah.
These are the two big issues
Destiny,
across all the polls.
It is, I mean, whatever side of this you're on with Trump, it is fascinating that somebody who, you know, many on your side believe is this appalling racist and everything else, that he is increasing support in minority groups. Why is
certain talking? Because black people and Hispanic people and Asian people and white, we're not fundamentally different. You can appeal to people using certain talking points. Like, I hate that I'm saying this, but like Dave said, I agree that that talking about immigration and inflation, that's a thing that plays to a lot of communities, especially if you're a poor community, especially if you don't have as much money. These are things that are probably hitting you the hardest. Now, the issue where the rubber meets the road is that while Trump will talk about inflation, while Trump was running for president, he ran huge deficits in a great economy. There's no reason for it. At least Biden has an excuse to run deficits. We're coming out of a global pandemic. And Donald Trump's every single policy that Donald Trump is talking about will increase inflation. It's going to. Who do you think? Do you think that I'm going to care if my coffee costs $10 or $15 because of tariffs? It's not going to bother me. It's not going to bother anybody sitting here. It's going to bother the very same communities that are trying to vote for him because they're worried about things like inflation. And the policies themselves don't even make sense, right? What do you think is going to happen when we deport 12 million workers, or when we deport however many people Donald Trump wants to, or when we cut immigration even harder at the border, right? Donald Trump will simultaneously say we're shipping all of our factories to Mexico because they're making cars down there, but we want to ban all the people from coming to the United States to make the cars. It doesn't make any sense.
Allow me to remind you of my favorite statistic, which is...
I don't care about Obama. Obama is not running for president, so I don't know why. I don't care.
You're ahead of me, but let me do it anyway.
I've heard it. The deporter-in-chief.
It's my favorite stat.
It doesn't matter. All it proves is that Trump is a liar when you say he ran on immigration, because Obama was already deporting a ton of people.
The single greatest deporter of people in American presidential history, pro rata, per year, was Barack Obama.
So then would you say that Trump was lying when he said that...
Oh, you see how when you corner Destiny, he starts screaming like a female. He starts... Dude, man... I don't know how people could debate this guy. Like, yeah, that's the reality, man. Barack Obama deported over 3 to 4 million immigrants during his entire presidency. He was undercovered by all the mainstream media. Now they're pushing this immigration stuff down our throats like there's this immigration crisis, when in reality, a lot of these immigrants are really necessary for the survival of America and its future, man, because a lot of these people come over here and work all the jobs that we don't want to work as Americans. Let's keep it real, man. And we have a freaking population crisis where you have Americans who aren't procreating. Everybody's, divorced, single. They don't want to have kids. You got a whole generation of TikTok users. You got a possible World War III. I mean, how are you going to deploy these dudes that are sitting there playing video games and are 400 pounds and, have estrogen and titties? They're forming like little tits while they're playing video games. I mean, it's over, man. Like, you need people to come into this country. That's why stupid Trump, like, he changed his rhetoric. You guys notice he's like, oh, you know what? We need these immigrants, because somebody sat him down and showed him what's really going on with America. So all that bullshit talk about the immigration stuff is such a play on like these idiots that don't know what's going on, man. It's ridiculous. We need people. America needs people, right? Obviously the legal way, but the whole notion of, oh, we don't need all these immigrants coming in this country and stuff like that, dude. With all these industries and this new technological advancements and all this stuff that's going on, bro. Come on, man.
Democrats were bad on immigration.
3 million in 8 years.
Yeah. So would you say that Trump was lying when he said that Obama was bad on immigration?
No, I'm simply saying.
I'm curious. Would you say that Donald Trump and the Republicans lied when they said that Obama had an open border?
There is so much.
Palin has probably said that Obama had an open border. Did they lie when they said that?
Call her Mrs. Palin. Be respectful.
Right.
Mrs. Palin.
Right.
Mrs. Palin.
Did Obama have an open border?
Hang on. Do you think Donald Trump's going to win in a week?
I do. And I think that, again, you are underestimating the wisdom of the people, the collective here in the electorate, people saying we do need a change from what we have just witnessed for 3.5 years, 4 years now. And Kamala will perpetuate, she will continue what the Biden administration did.
What do you think, Trump clearly has something, and I'll use this word and it's going to enrage these two. I don't mean it in the sense of fantasy magic, but he's got a magical touch which allows vast numbers of people to gravitate to him. I saw it last night, not just in the Madison Square Garden. Outside, there were tens of thousands of people trying to get in, right? So he's got something. I saw Jonathan Karl on ABC this morning saying, whatever you think of it, he said, I can't think of a single Republican nominee ever who could have packed out Madison Square Garden at this stage of a campaign in Democrat-dominated New York.
He's not even that popular. Has Trump's
I'm just
popularity
saying,
ever been
this is
above
what
45%?
ABC's Jonathan Karl said, not me, right?
Is he going to win New York?
No, but you know what? He's going to do very much better in New York than people would have expected. And I do think there's a potential that Trump could do a massive sweep of all the swing states. I do. And I think he might also win the popular vote, which would be extraordinary, given where things are. I'm also reminded, Mehdi, that in the 2020 election, Trump got nearly 10 million more votes than first time around in 2016. So, notwithstanding your own very deep-rooted views about him, there is something, as I say, magical in his ability to bring these people to him and believe in him, right? It may be a magic that he hates and he hates.
I mean, there is other
something about
speakers in history who've
I
had
saw
that
it last
magic,
night. There was a further about his support, which is tangible.
A magic.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you take away the checkbook and the bank account, right, that Trump is owner of, you can ratchet down what it is that he stands for and the way he speaks and the connection that he has with people that covers all demographics. He's like a regular person, and I know that personally, and we've been friends for many years. Before he became a bigwig in politics, we became friends because he had a connection with me through family. He saw what the press was doing to me, the media was doing to me back when I was a governor, when they were attacking my kids, and they were, on a national level, they were telling lies about my administration, my record, my reputation. And Trump started reaching out to me back then, saying, hey, hang in there, and it's tragic what they're doing to your kids. That's not fair. So we connected over that. And then through these years, that connection has grown. I see firsthand how he is able to reach out, and there is charisma there, the way he is able to reach out and make connections. He speaks like the everyday man.
Yeah.
People think that's perhaps uncouth, and he may not have some kind of pedigree that some people would desire to see in him. But that mirrors kind of the general population in America, where, again, take away the checkbook, take away the money, and he can connect to the everyday man.
Mehdi, who's going to win? Putting aside who you want to win,
don't know.
Who's going to win?
I don't know.
That means to me you think he's going to win.
Yeah, of course he could win. I've said that to anyone.
But the fact you don't know means you think...
Of course he could win. He's neck and neck in the polls, which probably means he's leading. If you're neck and neck in the polls, Trump's support is often understated in the polls.
Yeah.
So I think Democrats should be panicking.
Yeah, he did better in 2016 and 2020 than he was polling.
Yes,
right.
Which is
so. Now I don't know.
Although I would say there's 500,000 Puerto Ricans in Pennsylvania. I'm sure the Democrats are going to.
Dave, let me ask you. Dave, who are you going to vote for?
I did not vote for Trump in 2016 or 2020, and I've been basically just as of this week being like, I might actually vote for him this time. And just to be clear, it is totally just a vote against Kamala Harris. I was so disgusted at her campaigning with Liz Cheney and going on this tour of like trying to, rehabilitate the image of the Cheneys. And I'm so disgusted at the fact that I've never seen a campaign like Kamala Harris's before, where there's literally running on nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, not even like running on bad ideas. Well, listen, I don't think it's not literally true. But what I'm saying, obviously, is that she ran a campaign for president in 2020. She has walked away from every central issue that she was campaigning on in 2020. When asked about it, she says, "That was 5 years ago." Like that's her. There's
defund the police. I don't want to defund the police.
I'm not for that.
Ban fracking. I don't want to ban fracking.
My values haven't changed. It was 5 years ago.
Trump did a 3-hour interview with Joe Rogan and lied like 50 times.
Anyway.
But just be clear, you are going to vote Trump.
He could say something that disgusts me so much in between now and when I vote that I might not. Like if he's every time
nothing he said last night disgusted you.
He's not voting for Trump. He's not voting for Trump.
Speech last night, but the stuff.
The people that want Trump to win just really hate Kamala Harris, and a lot of them are just sitting at home being like, you know what, I'm not even gonna waste my time here with both of these candidates, guys. But I'm gonna give it to him, man. Trump has a way to attract the large populations of people. Simply because, and you gotta understand, like, he's a salesman as well, right? So he knows how to talk to the people. He knows that he's not using complex vocabulary. He's not really being he doesn't talk like he's like this nerd type guy, and he just keeps it simple for people to understand and people to digest the information, and people like hearing simple shit. And he's just talking to people's language, and he has this aura about him that you can't deny. The guy, he's entertaining. So that's part of it, man. That's part of what his popularity comes from. But is he really gonna win the election? I don't know, man. The real question is, are they gonna allow him to win the election? You know what I mean?
The topic of Israel is probably gonna risk losing my support for him. But I do think that there is something about the Kamala Harris campaign that is almost like a completely manufactured campaign by the machine. She's not running on what she ran on last time she ran for president. She's not running on her track record as vice president because she's not Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And so I just find it like, I'm so disgusted by it that I want it to lose.
Will you be voting Trump?
Absolutely not.
Will you vote for Kamala Harris with great enthusiasm?
Absolutely, 100%. Trump
Really?
is one of the
really
the
believe she's
most
the one?
appalling thing. Yeah, of course. I was promised communism after 8 years of a foreign Kenyan person being in office, Obama, and that didn't happen. I was promised communism, socialism, and all my guns were going to be gone. I lived in Omaha, Nebraska, and every time a Democrat was up for office, you need to come down to Ammo's R Us and buy guns. They're going to take them. It never happened under Biden. The United States economy is outperforming every other economy in the world right now under Biden's policies that ostensibly Harris will continue. She will most likely continue these policies. The idea that Trump, and also the hilarious thing of Kamala's running on nothing, Trump is running on tariffs, and deportation.
Okay, but let me ask you a different question.
Mass deportation.
But who do you think is going to win?
Mehdi, I have no idea.
Is
Yeah, by the way,
Kamala-
that's
is Kamala
my
the
answer
best
too,
that they-
essentially.
That they've got, though,
Yeah.
would you have rather seen some competition to allow the cream to rise?
I
Would
think
you
it
have
would have
rather
been
seen?
much
Would you have
better.
rather seen Trump accept a debate with any of the other people, with DeSantis or any of the other Republican
I
candidates who
love
run?
debate, and
Well, he
I
actually
love.
should have.
Wait,
W Destiny. That's a good point. W Destiny.
Did you call for Donald Trump to accept debates?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, because I didn't hear the Republican Party call for him much.
But the
It
truth
seemed like-
is, he ran away with the nomination so fast and so aggressively, it was all over.
It's also like I wanted to see, just for the entertainment value, I wanted to see Trump in those
Trump is a-
debates.
Trump-
but
I actually would have enjoyed watching him beat up Ron
The
DeSantis.
It would've
irony,
been fun.
the
It
irony
would've been
is,
fun
the
to see.
irony
So, I
is,
don't know.
Kamala Harris actually beat him in their one debate, no question. But I think she's going to lose the election, and when she does, it will be because of cost of living and immigration. But look, I've got to leave it there. It's been a fantastically entertaining panel. In England, what we would do after such a lively exchange, we'd all go and find the nearest pub and have a few pints and put our differences aside. I'm not expecting you to do that.
Pub. Yeah, man, this one's a toss up, but if I'm calculating it the right way, man, there's what is it, 19 Pennsylvania electoral votes. You got to win Michigan and Wisconsin. So, is it going to be a fair election? Who the hell knows, man? We're already seeing reports where people are casting their vote early, and some of these individuals are like, it's like dead people, illegal aliens. You have some people are saying that they're voting for Trump, and then the shit shows up as Kamala when they put it in the just like all types of crazy crap going on, especially in Pennsylvania, because that's going to be that's going to be like the state that whoever secures that has the best shot. You know what I mean? So yeah, anything can happen, man. Yep, we can even have a draw. You can even have a draw.